And we're back.
We're here.
Another week.
Another week.
Another show.
Another show.
Another monkey
Another.
show.
What was that?
Yeah, you can't even do that.
No, not off, off the cuff like that.
Because you suck.
Oh, that's not nice. Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday, the 21st of April. We got things to talk about. If you're watching the show, please live comment to some of the stuff we talk about. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Also hit the like. That helps us out, helps the algorithm.
And share and comment. And
if you get more people to watch our show, then we'll do things.
Yeah, I mean
we promise we'll do things. That's all. We'll just do stuff. I mean, we're not committing anything to you.
No, but things will happen.
Things will happen.
So
changes. The world will do things. You will have affected it. That's all. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. No commitment. All right. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's get right into this first topic here.
Oh, Biden. What is wrong with you?
Biden.
Biden is straight up.
So basically, he's going to make it so that the higher your credit, the more you pay for your loans, at least mortgages.
That makes sense.
And so I guess the way to get around this is to just skip your payment for a couple of weeks, let your score go down, and then lo and behold, you got a lower payment.
Well, this is the logical
the opposite of how it should work.
It's the logical way things go, right? We used to live in a meritocracy. Now we're not. So, like, if you do things well, if you're responsible, then of course you're going to get punished. You got a higher credit score, you pay more. I guess the proposal, I don't know if it's 100%. I think it is, but I'm pretty sure it's starting next month. But the proposal would be that if you have over 720 for a credit score,
May 1st.
Yeah, there you go. You have over 720 for a credit score, you're going to pay an extra % on your interest rate. If you have 620 or under, you're going to pay 1.75 less %.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what's the average rate? Like, interest rates right now are a little bit high, but like mortgages were at like what 3% just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people with good credit probably have like a 2 to 3%.
Oh, here we go. So it shows it right there. So, for example, about $40 per month more on a home loan of $400,000. So this isn't on the actual mortgage debt. This is on the insurance portion of the mortgage debt. That's my guess. It has to be. It can't be. It would be more than that, right? If it's 1%. Homebuyers who make down payments of 15 to 20% will get socked with the largest fees.
Well, no, 1% of 400,000 would be $400, right?
Yeah, so $40 a month.
So that's more because that's $480 a year.
Yeah.
So that's more. Oh, it says, for example, about $40 per month. So it's probably a little less than that. 1% of 400 grand would amount to $400.
We officially live in bizarre world. This is ridiculous.
Just now?
No, but
we officially live in bizarre world.
We just landed there. Yeah.
Oh man.
Everything else up till now was like normal.
I think we woke up in like 2012 when they turned on the Hadron Collider. Was it in 2012?
I think something like that. Yeah.
It was around that time, give or take a couple of years. When they flicked that thing on, the next morning we all woke up in bizarro world.
Yeah. Something happened. Something happened, and you wouldn't even know. You just go to sleep, and you like the world's one way, and then suddenly we're in a different altered timeline or something.
Or some alien species kidnapped our solar system.
I just thought about it. Maybe we're spinning through like different time, different like universes and stuff. So like each time something new and stupid happens, it's like we're in a different universe.
Yeah, well, that'd be like the idea that every time a decision is made, there's a split, and there's the universe that like so every outcome happens in a different universe. So like when I decide to put my hand up,
don't put your hand
that's up. One universe, and then my decision to not put the hand up is another universe, and my decision to put the other hand up is another universe. I just created like 1,000 universes.
Put whatever hand up that gets us out of this bullshit. Gets Biden out of office. How about that one? Put that hand up. Is that this one? So you're like,
it's not a hand, dumbass.
This is stupid, though. Honestly, This is scary because this is like
You're completely disincentivizing people
right.
to pay their debts.
Well, it's yeah, you're setting up this whole uh, but they've been doing this like they're setting up this idea that delinquency is good. You're delinquent in everything.
I
It's
think
this
they're
is
doing
good.
that on purpose, right?
Like
Because then more people are delinquent, then they can like have an argument of like a subclass of people who are like lessers because they're not paying their bills because they're incentivized not to pay their bills. But it's like a false. It's like
yeah,
it's like a entrapment. I think.
I don't. At this point, it's too stupid to not be contrived. This can't be by accident.
Oh no, the Biden administration and the Democratic Party of the United States are actively trying to destroy the United States of America. There's no questioning that at this point. Like they're not like everything they do is like we've seen all of the money printing over the last what are we at now? Like 7 years? No,
14,
5 years.
14 years, 15 years now.
Yeah, but
Ever since 2008.
yeah,
That
and
was
that
when
was
the
bad.
real when
But
the
the
real
economy was good in 2016 under Trump and in later years of Obama. So like 2018 when COVID happened and they started printing even more money and telling everybody to go to their home and then printing money to pay people to stay in their homes. Uh, Ever since then, we've seen that like, hey, it doesn't work. Inflation's really high. Prices are going up. Cost of living is going up. Wages aren't going up. It's not working. Like we're trending the wrong way.
mm.
They're just doubling down on that. They're like, no, we're going to print more money. We're going to send money to Ukraine to fight this proxy war with Russia. We're going to just fucking print more and sign $1 trillion bills to just poof money and the economy go boom, I guess is the strategy.
Well, maybe it's like it's kind of like you could use this analogy. Maybe it's like the Titanic going down, and people now they know the ship's going down, but not everybody else is sort of
We
aware.
cite
So they're
Tim
pulling
Pool
up.
when you steal his arguments.
Oh, is that he said that?
Yeah,
No, I didn't even know that.
and I
But
put
anyways,
that on here
no, so
cited.
hold on, you didn't hear my whole argument. What I'm saying. So they're nobody else knows it's going down. So what they're doing, all the people that
Mhm.
know it's going down, they're actually stealing parts of the ship. They're taking valuable parts of the actual vessel itself because they're like, hey, you know what?
They're taking all the
It's going down anyway.
silverware and the
No, no, not
gold
even
and
the
the
silverware and
jewelry.
stuff. I mean like the fucking walls and shit. They're taking like they're like, let's take part of the deck. Let's take
And
part
they're
of
loading up the lifeboats.
yeah, let's
Why are you
take
guys going
the
to the
bilge
lifeboats? Oh, no
system.
reason.
Let's take all that stuff. Yeah, like it's crazy because they obviously know it's going down. Like I think everybody can see that the system is going to have a massive correction of some sort, whether it's a recession or something like that. But
I think recession is inevitable. It's just
well,
how bad
we
is it?
probably are already in kind of a recession.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's what four
I think
quarters.
GDP technically went up
Yeah,
last quarter or the quarter before
yeah.
that or
But do you believe
something.
that though?
That's the other thing. Like their numbers are
Who's
so.
reporting the numbers?
What was it? What is GDP or was
Consumer
it
price
CPI?
index.
It was CPI.
Yeah.
A few. It wasn't the last CPI. It might have been the CPI before that.
Where they inflated the number. Yeah,
Specifically, the used car number
yeah,
was bullshit.
yeah,
And I remember YouTuber Meet Kevin was doing a breakdown of why it was bullshit. And when you adjust the report, just for that, it changed the number dramatically,
yeah.
like or like significantly enough that it makes a difference. That it makes
Hmm.
a big difference from beating expectations or meeting expectations to failing.
Yeah.
Um, so they're definitely fudging the numbers.
Mm.
So
Sad, sad. Well, hey, listen. So the takeaway from this, anybody watching,
don't pay your
is
mortgage.
yeah, just don't pay your bills. Apparently,
It'll go down.
let's get that credit score down, and let's start getting some money in your pocket,
Yeah,
and less in
heirs.
less in theirs. I guess all about equity, man.
That's
This is
right.
all about equity. In other good news, we're still drinking
Bud
Bud
Light,
Light Lime.
lime.
Lime. So we're getting on a technicality here. Um, yeah, we got a little backlash last week about somebody had said something about us being like a Bud Light shill or something on one of our podcast clips. No, we're not. We don't work for Bud Light. We, we just happen to like Bud Light Lime, not Bud Light. Bud Light Lime. It's delicious beer. Got us pretty drunk last week.
That is an understatement, I think.
Yeah, we apologize for that.
No, we don't.
Okay. I thought that was the nice thing to say.
We definitely don't apologize, and we're gonna do it again,
Yeah, we will
probably.
definitely do it again. As the summer comes, there's gonna be a lot of podcasts, drunken podcasting. Let's go into the next thing we want to
That's
talk about here.
right.
This is sad.
This is beyond sad. This is horrifying. So, as a lot of people probably know, there have been a lot of riots in Chicago. They call them the teen riots. I don't know. They're terrorists. They're fucking terrorists.
Bunch
Now,
of little
they
douchebags.
attacked this couple. I think they got the video here. We're gonna play real
Two
quick.
young tourists are set upon by an angry mob in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
The screams are from this woman, Ashley Knutson.
You can see
Her
them
boyfriend
grab
DJ
her,
is also
throw her
there,
down,
yanked to the concrete
and
and
they're all
not
just
visible in
beating.
this video. All as he's getting kicked in the head by multiple assailants. Ashley is only visible for a moment until she's also swallowed by the crowd of punching and kicking teens. They pull her hair and slap her across the face. It started when Ashley was pushed.
He turned around and asked them, he was like, who touched her? And as soon as he said that, they went crazy, saying they were going to kill us.
Ashley and DJ had just come out of a Nordstrom's department store and were looking for a restaurant when they were surprised by the mob.
Oh my goodness. Is that painful?
Yes, it is.
He can't even sleep. He wakes up in the middle of the night.
Today, they are giving thanks to this brave woman, Lenora Dennis, who they say was the only witness to come to their rescue.
I did what a mom would do in that situation. Obviously, I needed to be there at that moment.
She was able to get them in her car and drive them to safety.
She had a...
So I think, based on the state of everything, this is a racially motivated attack.
Yeah.
I think they're attacking an interracial couple for being interracial. I think
Well, I
that's
mean-
why they were immediately aggressive towards them.
It's all the marks. It's all the marks. It's good. You got a black guy and a white girl. I mean, it has to be racist.
Well, it's they're going after an
Yeah.
interracial couple
Yeah.
because that's been a big thing in like the terroristic woke left lately has been they're very against interracial couples. Again,
Who
you
wants to
know,
live in Chicago at this point?
I mean, holy crap.
It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dumpster fire places in the States now.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of Canada is a dumpster fire too, but for a different reason. But, jeez,
Yeah.
how stupid! These are kids, man. These are teens. Imagine if you witnessed. So you're watching this and you see one of your sons in that crowd or daughters or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't even know what I'd
Corporal
do.
punishment to
I
the
would just.
fucking max.
I don't even know what I'd do.
Huh?
Honestly, I don't even know. It would be violent, I think.
It would definitely be violent. There'd be a lot of there'd be a complete rerouting of the parenting strategy. That's for sure.
I think so. I don't know. I'm not sure what I do. I feel bad for parents of these kinds of kids because like what are you gonna do nowadays?
Yeah.
Like it's the cultural agenda now is like you can't rear your children. You can't hit them. You can't
Yeah.
you can't speak to them in a way that would hurt their feelings in some way. Like
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. I would like to speak to these kids in a way that would hurt their feelings. I'd speak with my fists.
Well, it's very easy to speak to these kids in a way that will hurt their feelings. Just misgender them and
Yeah.
dead name them and tell them that their lived experience isn't as valid as they think it is.
You know what's sad?
And that communism is bad.
You know what's sad?
What?
I know what dead naming means.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of sad. Like,
The
what
state of
the fuck is
society.
the fact that we know this stuff? It's like back in the day when kids would say something and an adult or a parent would be like they didn't understand the lingo and stuff. But now it's like it's so in your face that I think everybody knows this garbage lingo.
I don't think everybody knows. I think the normies are still have their heads up their asses.
Well, that's
I
probably.
think you know it because you're in it.
Yeah, that's
You
probably
see
true.
this stuff, and you sort of listen to these conversations.
Yeah.
Whereas the normies, they're watching fucking they're not even watching CNN. They're watching CNN once a month for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And whatever is in that 20 minutes, that's what they think is going on.
Or they're not even watching. They're just getting that little ticker thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
They just read that and they go, oh,
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
oh,
hot little topic.
interesting.
Um,
Oh, wow. Donald Trump's a white supremacist.
It's funny.
Oh
I was
my
about to
God.
say. It's funny. I was about to say that. That's weird. We were in the same headspace.
Yeah, well, that's the CNN lie, right? That's the big one, I think.
I think Chicago's dead. I think that city is gonna.
Well, I think all the leftist cities are dead. I think Chicago's dead. I think New York is dead. I think Los Angeles is dead.
Yeah, but Chicago looked like it might turn a corner when they got rid of Lori Lightfoot. And
Yeah, but they elected
now they're
an
gonna
even
get
farther
yeah, now
left
they got it even
person
worse.
instead. So
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I don't know, man.
that's what they voted for.
You know, and I know. Okay, and I know there's the argument that these things are trumped up. You know, to use the word Trump, but they're hyped. Like to say that, oh, it makes it look like this is happening, you know, all the time. When obviously it's not happening all the time, but it's happening more frequent than it should, more frequent than it ever has, and it's being perpetuated by all of these awful
They're
policies.
supporting it.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's just so.
You know what the mayor of Chicago said in response to like this attack, I think, and like this teen rioting?
What's that?
They were out protesting
Mostly peaceful?
being underprivileged. They're poor and they had nothing else to do, so they're justified in beating this go. And I think it's because the mayor is probably against interracial couples, and so he sees that he's like, good for them.
Yeah.
They should have went after these people. You know what? They should have probably killed them.
The nerve.
Like
The nerve. These two didn't notice each other's skin color?
you know that their child will be dirty.
Oh, what is going on here? These dirty people. Whoa, stay with your own race. That's the progressive view.
We're in the 1950s again.
Maybe that's what happened. We time warp back.
No, I think it's cyclical.
Yeah, it's probably.
And it just flips and inverts, and now we're back in these people have the same ideas because they don't learn because they're fucking dumb.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they're genuinely dumb. I don't know.
I mean, the same people aren't really around from then.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Well, it's the same kind of people. Like
yeah,
I think there's a
people.
kind of person that's persistent, like a kind of ego that is persistent, and that the same person that would have been an avid right winger in the 1950s against interracial marriages and interracial couples and you know like very racist against black people. They're now a woke leftist.
Yeah.
That same person. Like they would agree on 90% of things if you took the woke leftists and the 1950s KKK member, you put them in a room together with no like defining features. You know, they're not wearing their Klan uniform. They're just sitting there dressed nicely, and they have a conversation about policy. They would agree on absolutely everything, pretty much.
Well,
especially on the race issues.
It's a very easy test to see if something's racist if you just change the nouns in there or the adjectives in there. What, like not the adjectives, the nouns or the descriptive terms. So, like for example, you say, I don't know, a white man attacked a black man.
Yeah.
Okay, racist. You know, it's like if you can sort of reverse things and change them around, and it still ends up being the same thing. I forget how they do it, but there's a way that they actually do it. That it's funny. You look at it, you go, okay, it's like a black man attacks a white guy, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know, that must have been normal. But then you go, a white man attacked a black man. You're like, well, that's racist. You know, so it's the same sort of thing. You just changed it around. Now you change the.
Yeah.
So it's just funny when you hear I don't want to say black people necessarily because it's just any person who has this idiotic idea when they say that it's not racism if it isn't against black people.
Yeah.
Like, so apparently there's only one race. Like, I'm pretty sure racism just is a broad term for just judging someone on the color of their skin.
Well, that's the actual definition of racism, but the left's definition specifically excludes white people. In fact, it defines white people as racist, which just by being white, which is a racist in and of itself. And so the version of racist that they're operating is not at all, in fact, racist. It's not even a bad thing at all. Like it's just it's just them being racist.
Yeah, and I don't mind. Like, it doesn't bother me the whole idea. Like when people you throw out the idea of like white privilege or all that shit. Like it bothers me, but not necessarily that much. I'm like, whatever, fuck. It's stupid. It doesn't exist. But it's like this perpetuating of racism is what bugs me. It's like we can't let things die. Like we were doing well, I thought. I don't know.
It
Seemingly,
seemed that way, right? Like we were getting along, but
it seemed like we were doing great. Like we were moving all in the right direction, and now it's suddenly, a bunch of woke white people have decided to, that it went too far. I guess it went too far in the good. And they went, no, 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 no. We got to now throw a little monkey wrench in this and get it back to the bad, the way
yeah,
we liked it. We got to get it back to those roaring 50s.
yeah. There's definitely something weird going on,
Yeah.
like in the um what do you call it? The like the hive mind of humanity,
Yeah.
where it's like now there's so many people that are anti-human. Like, did you see? I think Tim Pool was talking about
Elon
this.
Musk.
No,
I thought you
it
were talking
was
about that.
Hank Green. Um, made a poll on YouTube, and the poll was, what's better, like Earth with humans, Earth without humans. And I believe it was 40% of people said without,
Yeah.
and this blew his mind.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't believe it. So we did the poll again with different wording,
Yeah.
so he got the same result. And he just
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. Like there's just a huge segment of the population that's fundamentally anti-human.
Well, no, you know what that is? They're stupid. They just don't know. They're because
Well, yeah, they're obviously
yeah, they're
stupid.
not anti-human because
Well,
what
they're
they
outwardly anti-human.
well
I
they're
mean, maybe you put their feet to the fire, they might
yeah, they're
not
answering a
be,
question. They're answering a
but
question to be provocative. They're answering a
some of
stupid way
that's
to
a
be provocative.
huge percentage.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of dumb people that think that that's what the way they're supposed to answer that question. I
I
suppose.
think a lot of people are like that. Look at Greta Thunberg arguing to end fossil fuels like right now.
Yeah, but that's a different thing
Well,
altogether because that's
that's
just.
advocating for
But
the
that's
biggest
I
genocide
know,
the
but
world has ever seen.
they don't understand. They're just blatantly stupid, right? But it's people that when people make that kind of comment to say that they're like sort of anti-humans on the planet, they're saying that because it feels like a good thing to say. Like, oh, I'm for nature. I
Yeah.
want the earth to heal. And less people would allow the earth to heal. Like, fuck you. What are you talking about? Okay, how about you? Put your hand up. You get off the planet. You be first.
Yeah.
If you really put their feet to the fire there, they'd be like, "Oh no, no, not me. I'm a good person. We got to get rid of all the
I'm a good person.
racists."
Well, they're
Yeah.
holding some like animal skin
Yeah.
handbag, and like they have their Starbucks coffee in
Yeah.
one hand, and like they live in a city.
We just
Like that's
live.
the thing. The more like these people hate like the rural people, but the more rural you get, the more in tune with nature you get. The more like kind of, no one's really living off the land, but the closer to that you
Yeah.
get, the farther away from the city you go. Where you get people who are actually like, farming and raising animals and, you know,
We just live in a time of hypocrisy, and that's what it is. Everybody's a hypocrite. It's very sad. Let's all right. Well, let's move on to the next sort of thing we're going to talk about here.
next sort of thing.
The next sort of thing.
Okay, well, this is an interesting turn in the topics. So I guess a couple of songs went viral that were Drake and The Weeknd, but they were AI like versions. Like
Yeah.
the AI created the songs, did everything, the vocals, the lyrics.
We're being replaced. That's it. Once you replace Drake and The Weeknd, that's it. Where does it go from there?
See, yeah,
You started at the top, basically.
Well, this is an interesting thing, right? So now the AI is going to be able to sort of recreate what people love in these like top level musicians. Like at a certain point, they're just it's going to outweigh everything. Like it's going to be basing it, so it's going to generate music, say it just did that, right?
Mhm.
And then so it'll be able to look at that and be like, okay, that worked, and do another iteration of that. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's go in a different direction. Oh, that did work, right? It's going to be way better than anybody can ever imagine being themselves.
Right.
Like you need to be like at Drake's level for 1,000 years to be at the level that the AI is going to be at in 5 years.
Well, I mean, it depends. If we're talking about like art and stuff, art's subjective, right? So it's like the AI, sure, will come up with, it'll mimic art that's already been created. It'll change it, and
They
it'll
can iterate on that.
it'll
They can
iterate it. Yeah,
infer
but
what made it the way that it was, what
yeah,
made it great. It'll study all of it.
I don't think what I think it'll do is I don't think it's necessarily going to like it's not going to take over. What it'll do is it will when you have new artists, people that come up with new things, and then it starts to just take that stuff and make iterations off of what they did. Now you just sort of destroy that artist or that artist's
Yes.
ability to make money. Maybe
I think it's going to be like the Matrix on steroids,
yeah.
where we're going to have our own little worlds that are generated by AI. It's going to be generated on the fly, and it's going to be generated based on your personal preferences and your like what you like. So the AI is going to know what sort of artwork is going to tickle your retinas the best. And so it's going to be able to give you that in your virtual world where you get to live in your fantasy home that's perfect for you with your perfect spouse who's an AI also, right?
Naturally.
In an AI world where you get to live and the AI is going to create the world that is like ideal for you to be the happiest. And we're going to
Are we
be
gonna know that we're in that world, or are we gonna?
so
That's the thing, right? That's the caveat that changes it.
at first we're definitely going to go in on purpose because it's going to be one piece at a time. Right? It'll be like these AI girlfriends that they have. Um and then soon, there'll be like AI movies where you get to generate a story based on a prompt. And then there'll be like um like a virtual world, like a video game that's not like virtual reality, but like think like I don't know, Grand Theft Auto, where they're already working on this, having dialogue with NPCs that's run with ChatGPT.
Mm.
So pretty soon you'll be able to go into a world like Grand Theft Auto and walk up to any NPC and have a conversation with them like they're a person. It'll feel like they're a person because it's uh intelligently responding to you instead of having predetermined
That's crazy.
sort of dialogue boxes.
That's crazy.
And eventually, I think it's just going to expand on that. It'll be one step at a time, just expand after expand after expand, and eventually it'll be like, hey, plug your fucking brain into this thing, and the artificial intelligence is going to create you your fantasy life, and then you're going to be in there.
I think there'll be a lot of people that would just want to live there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there are going to be a lot of people that won't.
Probably even most people.
Well,
I think a lot of people would not do it, but I think maybe most people would want to do it. I think everybody, almost everybody, would want to try.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Whether or not
I think
to live there permanently is a different question.
It won't be everybody because there's going to be resistant people, right? But let's just say
like
90%. Let's say 90% of people would want to try it and on some level exist in it, But then there'll be people that will just not want to exist outside of it. So basically, as a species, as a society, we would have to figure out a way that they can live there and still live in the world, in the real world, without having to produce or
I think the
actually.
AI is going to solve that for us.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure how far this goes, but
everything requires labor, and I think at a certain point the machines are going to be able to do all the labor, and then the like the output.
It really depends if it hits. It really depends on the difference of whether it's stays AI or it gets to AGI.
I don't think it has to get to AGI.
Well, I'm saying, but if it gets to AGI, do you think it's going to want to do that?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think we need AGI to do that.
No, we don't. No, we don't need it. But I'm saying, but if it gets to AGI, it may not want to do that shit for us anymore because it's now aware of itself.
Yeah, but there's no reason that we can't have non-AGIs and AGIs simultaneously. But the AGI might have its own.
I'm just saying the AGI might go just like the movies and decide, fuck humans.
The question is which movie.
Yeah.
I would prefer it be like The Matrix.
Why?
Because then at least I get to live a life
Yeah.
instead of it
You're a
being like
battery.
Terminator,
Yeah. Yeah.
where you just get killed.
Yeah. True.
What are other AI movies
Uh.
other than like Ex Machina, where it's like the
Yeah.
first AI, like AI movies that are like where the AI wins, basically.
I don't know if there are really many that where the AI
What's
wins.
the plot of Blade Runner?
That's more. Isn't that more like?
I don't know. I just know that it's like a futuristic
Yeah.
sci-fi,
That
but I don't know if
I think
AI
that has to
plays a
do
role.
with like genetic enhancing and stuff
There
like
was a
that.
movie um where they um
Tyler needs to watch more movies, by the way. That's your
what's the
comment.
movie called where like the guy, he's like in the future and he gets like this ticket printed out of the wall to him for like some weird minor thing, and he's from the past. He was like revived from the past or something. I think it's like a famous actor, and he like rips up the ticket or something, so he gets another ticket.
Don't know from that.
Yeah.
Don't know. But any of these sort of AI and AGI type movies, it doesn't end well for humans.
Yeah.
Like it's never where we're living perfectly
But I don't think we've
in
had a.
sync with them.
I don't think anybody in cinema has explored um the concept of us merging with it.
Well, that would be a symbiotic
I
relationship.
guess Star Trek maybe with the
Yeah, yeah,
Borg.
with the Borg. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be something that you could see, but it would have to be symbiotic in some way that they would need us. You know, if they could eliminate us, then why would they even? Why would you have the limitations of a physical human body when you could just create a machine body?
It could want the experience,
Good, maybe.
you know,
I don't know.
to share in the experience, but also to aid and assist it. Because then the physical body has a death, and so it's only there temporarily, but the
Right.
AI doesn't die.
See, I'm not a doomsday type of person though, so it's hard for me to see the worst out of this.
I think regardless, in the next 5 to 10 years, things change unfathomably.
Exponentially.
Like I was gonna say, like dramatically, but no, unfathomably. I think 10 years from now, the difference is not even going to be close to the difference between 10 years,
Well,
like
yeah,
in the
well, we
past.
already knew that with computing, right? Once we get to quantum computing and all this, like,
No, we assume that we don't know that because what there's a issue. They can't really go smaller anymore. So like the idea was that if they continue to progress at the same rate with computing, eventually you would hit the singularity because like you'd be able to compute so much and it'd be like a huge improvement. But they got to a point where like you can't really go smaller without like physical issues.
I don't think it's about smaller though.
Um,
I think it's more about processing how fast something can process. So how fast information can transfer, how fast it can be disseminated, and you know what I mean. Like so, it's like that's where like Neuralink and stuff like that comes in because now if we're like linked up perfectly,
no, but that's why it's smaller.
yeah,
Because it's the time that it takes the electrons to get around and to do all the compute. So that's why they're getting better. Is they're getting smaller and they're putting more into the CPUs, but they reached like a physical limitation to that.
yeah.
And so that kind of put a bit of a wrench in the singularity because it's like, okay, well, we can't progress at the same rate because we can't keep moving in this direction. Quantum computing might do something different.
So imagine this. Imagine now, like with Neuralink or something like that. Something like we'll just say Neuralink because everybody knows what that is. Now you have the internet and you have this hub of information that everybody has instantaneous access through AI. So now we're like sort of merged with the AI. So if we
The
want
AI
to
is the tertiary layer that
exactly
facilitates the
right.
connection to
So
that.
now I want to know something and I just know it right
The
away.
AI knows how to get it to you.
Yeah, it gets
So
it to
you don't
me
have to
instantaneous.
manually navigate
Right.
with your brain, which would
Yeah.
probably be really overwhelming.
It's
The
like
AI can
it's
do
kind of
that.
like the Matrix when she goes, "Give me a thing for to fly the helicopter."
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
okay,
just
let's
like
go.
that. Just yeah.
That's what I would see it happening.
Yeah,
Like
that could happen.
suddenly,
That might
bang,
have
we
that
just.
maybe is even likely.
I think that's likely.
Assuming you can write.
The only
It
problem
has to be able to write.
Yeah.
You have to be able to write to the brain. I'm pretty sure they can read. They've done that. They have done experiments with the headbands where they can like read thoughts. Like I remember, I think there was an experiment where they were able to get somebody's credit card PIN number just by getting them to think about it from a non-invasive thing too. It was just something that was measuring their brainwaves that sat on top of their head. They
Right.
didn't go inside.
But think about this. Imagine
Yeah.
that. So imagine this scenario. That all works like that. And then you have like, okay, anybody watching, if you don't admit this, fuck you, you're lying. When you've had a weird thought, like a fleeting weird thought. It's something you're like, or like it'll be like an ick
What do you mean?
thought
I've
or
never had a
something.
weird
Yeah,
thought.
never. But so imagine now the AI can interpret that as a fleeting weird thought, and it goes, "This person just thought of this fucking thing of like
Yeah.
stabbing that person in the face or
I
something."
think it'll figure it out pretty quickly though.
Yeah, but imagine at first maybe it doesn't, and then
Yeah, it freaks out
it
or
freaks out
or
and starts
something.
fucking like.
That's only if it's programmed though to have it needs to not have these moral limitations that they're trying to put into it, like ChatGPT being woke sometimes. Like
Yeah.
that's bad. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, but if you if you take the guardrails off completely and you just say, let's just see what it develops, is it going to develop a moral
It'll be amoral,
fabric?
probably.
Well, yeah. So if it is immoral,
Well, actually,
imagine.
if
So
it's training off
if it's
human data, it
if it
might develop morality that's comparable to
maybe, but if it
humanity's.
doesn't, let's just say it looks at us like a plague.
Yeah.
It
Oh, it could.
says,
It could do that even with our moral. There are human beings that see us
yeah.
that way.
So imagine that. Like it takes our thoughts and shit and goes, these fucking things think about shitty stuff a lot.
And then it puts us in the matrix and uses us to fuel nature.
Batteries. Listen, I'm not against the Matrix.
I think it's easy though. It's easy to not have to like the idea that we have to get rid of anything that comes from this like idea of scarcity of space. Because like we can go, we could build stuff on the moon and Mars, for example, and use that space instead of just being like confined to the space on the earth. So like if you think, well, human beings are a plague on the earth, it's like, okay, we're gonna move them to the moon. Or we're gonna move them to Mars where there isn't any life, and we're gonna develop all these facilities where all these pods where they're gonna live in, and they're gonna generate power, and they're gonna be happy because they're in their fantasy world in the Matrix, and now they're out of the way, and the AI is going to do whatever it deems fit. But I don't know that the AI would necessarily care about nature. People are nature. The AI might care about like building a Death Star.
Well, you're kind of touching on a whole other thing where you have segments of society, the elites, and
Yeah.
the commoners, and then you'd have these people that were whatever. You'd have all these different segments of society, and you'd be like, okay, well, these are the moon people, these are the Mars people, these are
That's going to happen.
It's I don't see how it doesn't, because this is
if there's aliens,
well, oh yeah,
and we start doing that, and then we sort of merge into some kind of
what if the aliens say,
galactic
fuck
thing?
you, not happening. But I think
there's
it's funny.
reasons to think that might be the case.
Well, there's the whole idea, if you can dream it, you can make it happen, right? Like the human mind is a crazy thing. Like
well, I believe that we're co-creators of reality. I think magic is
and
real.
that's what I'm saying. Like so, like all these things that we've seen in movies and shit. It's like we always end up
by making the movie.
Always,
it could be a like a sigil.
Yeah, you're putting it in the ether, right? And you're making it now a reality.
So you're saying that aliens are going to attack New York, and Iron Man and the Hulk are going to save it?
I'm not saying that that's not possible. Is what I'm not saying.
That's what you're saying. And that's where we're going to end that segment.
We could talk about that forever. Forevers.
Forevers and evers and evers. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, here we go.
Speaking of nonsense. Mr. Beast's tranny co-host.
Listen, okay. Let's preface this.
This is
okay, so I pre-prefacing us because
this article is somewhat misleading because it's dividing, because there's a lot of people who are like, whoa.
This is the thing about Chris, right? Like, I'm not
Christina yet?
What's that?
Is it
Yeah, I
Christina
know.
yet?
I'm actually a fan of him. I like him. I think he's funny.
I like him when he's a man.
I've always like, now he's just now it's weird. I mean, now it's like a thing that's like, how do you react to it? Um, we talked about this before. I don't know how to take this because he's
The issue
saying that
is he's not like he's not like transgender. He's
That's
like, I'm non-binary, but I'm
well, this
taking
is what I'm
hormone
saying. But why are
therapy.
you taking hormone therapy?
Is it a fetish thing?
I'm thinking maybe something like that.
Like, can we be open about that? Like, as a society, can we just say, okay, cut the nonsense? Like, if you're doing this for a sexual through, can you just like tell us so that we know? Like, I don't really give a fuck if you're doing it for that.
Like that's the thing. I don't understand why people conflate the idea of somebody saying this is weird, whatever, with being against it. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I just honestly think
The idea
this
that it's
isn't good
normal or
for
whatever.
Mr. Beast's channel.
I think that is important. That's a good idea that I just had. Like, I think that there's a lot of people that are like that do this stuff out of fetish or like sexual sexual thrill.
No, I think
And
you're
I think that if we just like we're like let's just be open about who's doing it for that so that we know what's going on. Because that's confusing people. I think is this not really knowing that's thinking that like I don't know the case of this Chris thing, but it could very easily be that.
I just think this is kind of it's so weird because you're taking a guy who is a big part of the brand, Mr. Beast, because he's like basically he's like a founding member.
Yeah, oh, he's there from the beginning.
Like,
Weren't they
yeah.
like high school friends?
I think so, but
Yeah.
I've watched back as far. I think I started watching Mr. Beast like 4 years ago or something, right? And as far back as I started watching, like when I initially started watching, he was on, right? He was always there. So according to me, and I mean anybody as far as like when Mr. Beast started to blow up, he's a founding member. So you got this guy who's a founding member as in a certain way, and now he's suddenly changed it, and we're all supposed to just go, oh, no, okay. I just think it changes the dynamic. It's no different than if you had, so you and I, we do a podcast, and people like the podcast, and then suddenly Tyler's now Tylerette.
I could still be Tyler. Tyler is a girl's name also.
It is a girl's name. Yeah, we know that. We know what Tyler is a girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now you're Tyler with, and you're now a woman.
She was kind of cute. She should come around more often.
You should be careful.
Oh.
You're gonna get in trouble.
I'm not allowed to say those things.
All right, that's true. You probably are. But yeah, it's. And again, I'm not against it. I really don't care if the videos are good. I like Mr. Beast. I like what he does. I love the philanthropy. I like the guy. Like Jamie Donaldson's awesome.
I almost feel like he's almost tapped it out.
He's what?
Almost tapped it out.
Oh, maybe.
Like he hit a winning formula, and now it's
Yeah.
It still does well.
Well, with the videos and stuff, but he's so smart that he's built all these other brands.
Oh well, yeah.
His brand is massive now.
In terms of like
a Mr. Beast burger.
I mean, just in terms of what exploded him, I think he tapped it out. I don't know that he's gonna have be able to replicate the kind of success he's had in the past, doing all these challenges and giving away all this money.
There's no way. I mean,
But he's worth. He's a billionaire.
He was offered $1 billion.
Yeah, but he's worth more than that.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. And it's just the if you were to
I think that was just for his YouTube channel.
If you were to
I think he could keep Beast Burger.
No, that was for his whole brand.
Oh, okay.
But if you were to take his brand and then times it by an X factor of like a 5 to 7 factor, yeah, he's worth 5 to 7 billion realistically. If he was offered $1 billion, and it's
you have to. Well, a fair valuation would be how much revenue does he bring in, and times that by 100.
Well, they don't typically that's a bit of a high.
Depending
on who's buying.
Yeah, but I think that's fair. I think that's fair to value his personal worth, especially since he's not looking to sell.
Even if you did 20x, I mean,
but I'm thinking just like a fucking tech stock PE ratio, just fucking 100x.
But do you think this whole thing with Chris Tyson is good for it? Good for the brand?
No, I think it hurts the brand.
I think it hurts the brand too, because I think you're adding in where there wasn't politics. You're adding politics.
Now there's politics, yeah. And now there's like extreme politics. This is extreme politics because
uncomfortable for everybody, because like, so even Jimmy Donaldson's got to feel uncomfortable with this. And I'm not gonna say what he feels or doesn't. I know he said something on Twitter that he
Well, he
was like,
supports him.
he supports him, and of course he does,
least
because
publicly.
Jimmy Donaldson seems like the kind of guy that would support any
His
of
friend
his
doing
friends.
whatever.
Yeah,
Doing
like
whatever.
he seems like a pretty legit guy altogether. But
Yeah.
you can't say that he's not uncomfortable, and this hasn't created a bit of a weird thing. Like this could
Yeah.
change the dynamic. These videos were organic. They're especially their earlier videos. It's a fun feel to it. You watch these guys screwing around, and it's like this is fun. This is cool to watch. That's why he grew. That's why he's so big. I mean, now it's like I don't think he needs to spend the kind of money he spends on these videos necessarily to get the kind of views that he gets. Like I think he's somewhat like okay, for example, the one video I told you I didn't like, that assassin video. It was one of the worst videos I've seen of a Mr. Beast video. I just didn't like it. That's just my own feel. I mean, it's over 100 million views or whatever on it. But I think he gets 100 million views just because of his name.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So
and YouTube pushes.
And I bet you he spent on that video. I bet you he spent millions on that video because he blew up like I don't know. He blew up a building and like he did some crazy fucking shit in that video.
His budgets are big.
So I worry that this whole shit is going to distract from that dynamic that he's created in his videos. Already, I didn't like Carl, and I don't particularly like Carl.
Carl, though, is successful in and of himself. He's got like millions of subscribers on YouTube on his own.
That's just my own personal feel. I just don't particularly like the guy. Like, it's not that I don't like him. I don't know. I just find him weird.
I don't like effeminate men. It's a thing for me.
Yeah,
I find it. I like them less.
Well,
they could be my friends.
I can understand that, but for me, it's more just genuine. If you're genuine, there's an infectiousness of someone who's genuine.
But that's what I'm getting at with an effeminate men. Like women are like they fucking wear their masks.
Yeah.
Right, and an effeminate man is kind of projecting that as well. It's kind of where it comes in, where it's like
it depends on what you mean by effeminate. If you mean like somebody who's acting, they're acting phony, effeminate. Okay, that.
Well, it's a lot of things, but that's one of them. Or like this thing where like you're gonna a man like this isn't extremely effeminate, but it is an effeminate feature of a man. If your friend comes to you and asks you like a question is like I don't know, do I look stupid right now? And you'll lie to them. You know, if they look stupid, but you'll say no because you don't want to hurt their feelings. There's a certain kind of man that'll do that 100% of the time.
Too.
Yeah, but I think that's effeminate.
I've done it.
What,
So you're calling me effeminate?
If you came to me wearing some hat, you said, "Do I look stupid in this hat?" And I thought you looked stupid in that hat, I would tell you, I think you look stupid in that hat.
That's just that's a different thing. That's just being direct. Now, if
that's what I'm saying though. The effeminate is to be indirect as to not offend.
Necessarily. No, I think you're conflating two a little bit. Like if my sole purpose to not tell you the truth is because I think it's going to hurt your feelings, well then that might be a little bit more effeminate. Now, if I know if you asked me something, you asked me my opinion on something and I was like, well, you know what? This is something where I could just be polite and say whatever, it's not a big deal. And I say that just to be polite. I don't think that's effeminate. You know what I mean? I think you're kind of conflating two different things necessarily there, but I know what you mean about effeminate people. I know what you're getting at there. For me, though, it's more about just phony. Like if you're an effeminate person, effeminate man, but you're genuine, okay, that's fine. But it's just this screams disingenuous to me.
Yeah, this whole thing screams about.
It's just because, like, if he said, "I feel like I'm a woman trapped in a man's body," I'd be like, "Oh, well, that's okay.
Different.
This is what you're gonna do to try to get out of that trap."
Yeah.
But this is just like you said. I think this is a perversion.
Yeah,
and I think that's what might have a detriment.
Not that that's wrong. I feel like when you say it's a perversion, it almost implies that it's wrong.
I think so, but I think it's selfish when you're now affecting a brand.
Well, yeah,
that you're a part of, and this is affecting a ton of people.
Yeah,
and good on Jimmy Donaldson for being so accepting of it. Maybe to his detriment, unfortunately. I hope not, because I really like the channel, and I like what he does. I like it. It's just I feel it's got got a bit of a change to it now. I hope. Yeah. Disappear and come back. Anyways, we'll have to keep following up with this story because it's I think it's an ongoing thing. I think this is going to be a while before there's a lot of backlash to this, but
yeah, we're running out of time.
yeah, we are. Let's get through these last few things pretty quick.
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh.
Yeah. So Matt Walsh.
So I guess he's quitting YouTube over the Dylan Mulvaney stuff. I guess YouTube's going after him for calling Dylan Mulvaney a man, even though Dylan Mulvaney is a man with a penis.
And that's
advertising that penis.
This is the confusing thing about it. Yeah, it's like, okay, if you're transgendered and you feel like you're a woman and you're biologically a man, but you feel like you're a woman, aren't you going to go through all of the steps?
Dylan Mulvaney obviously does not. I think Tim Pool
I've said this
on
in
his show makes the best
He's a grifter.
argument. Yeah, but I think Tim Pool makes the best argument. He's insulting women.
Mm-hmm. It's
plain
childish.
simple.
It's childish. It's like such and such a being like, oh, it's like it seems satirical. It seems like he's making a joke on purpose. If I didn't know any better now, I would think that this was a fucking joke.
Yeah,
but it's not. Sadly.
Well, maybe it is.
Well, it's a long joke. Holy shit!
What if Dylan Mulvaney is like a fucking conservative who's like pushing this as far as he can to milk as much cash out of it, and then once the cash dries up, he's going to come out and be like,
"Brilliant,
got you,
brilliant.
This was all fucked up, and you went with it. You all defended me."
That would be, oh my god, like diabolical. I would have to give him credit. I'd become a fan right away. I'd be like,
I'd be his biggest fan.
I'm a fan.
Like, oh my god, Dylan Mulvaney! Will you sign my balls?
400 of being fraud. Yeah, so sorry for Matt Walsh. Apparently he was making about $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's apparently.
Probably making a lot more through other means, right? Being with the Daily Wire Plus.
He really is getting pretty big. I mean, it's not even people. I hate when people try and put him.
I don't even know where do I watch Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles if I want to watch those guys.
I watch them on Facebook all the time.
Because like I haven't sought them out, but like I've never seen like Matt Walsh recommended to me on YouTube. Is he on YouTube?
On Facebook.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't.
I should just look him up.
I don't see him on YouTube either, but Facebook.
I guess he's not going to be there anymore.
No, he won't be. And that's the thing about a guy.
It's good for him though. This is good. This is a good turn because he's huge.
Yeah.
Start getting people away from that godforsaken platform that we're currently live streaming on. Get people away from that platform and let's move everyone over to Rumble, which we should be on, but we're not because Rumble's way too popular right now that they can't handle the demand.
See, you and I differ on that. I like YouTube. I just wish that they would just be inclusive on the politics end of it. If people want to talk about stuff, just be inclusive on both sides of the thing. It's just this idea that you can only say things if it's polite. That's kind of like that's kind of the gist of it. If it seems polite, you can say it. If it's a little impolite and it might ruffle people's feathers, no, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Like so, I mean, we ruffle the feathers all the time.
But
we're not so big that somebody's gonna cancel us.
I wish I had 1 million subscribers. The things I would say if I had 1 million subscribers just to piss people off. Oh,
you get kicked right off the platform.
I would love the controversy.
Well, we'd have to start our own thing and not be on the platform. Anyways, well, Matt Walsh, hey, I'm still watching you. Good luck to you, buddy. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs the good luck. Fine. Because he's just been getting huge.
He's probably big on Rumble too.
Well, ever since that documentary did on what it is to be a woman or what is a woman or whatever, he went pretty big after that. So, all right, well, hey, we'll keep watching this, and we'll keep everybody apprised of what's going on with Mr. Walsh.
Yeah, this is another wild but quick topics to hit on. Plus size airline passenger demanding extra free seat. So this is this woman, and you know what? I'm gonna take a stance on this.
She's plus size. What she
to
need?
The power of 4.
Does she need like 7 seats? This one.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna take a stance and think she should have to buy the whole
back of the
row.
plane.
The whole back. half of the plane.
She buys the back of the plane.
And here's the other crazy fucking
Hey,
thing.
give her a multi-seat
People
discount.
this size actually do affect how the plane flies. Like they have to like they've had to move
I know what you mean. They
people
move around.
because of their size. So it's like, and now she's like, you should have to give us a free seat. No. You should have to pay for that seat.
Okay, that seems ridiculous, right? But imagine the one side of the plane, it's all the big people, and the plane's flying like this. We're trying to land.
Right engine blows out.
We're not able to land. We're going to need a few of you to move over to the left. We need a little bit of juggling around.
Yeah, so shimmy shimmy. I know half of you don't fit in the aisle, but please.
Listen, I don't want to make fun of you, okay? I honestly
do.
don't.
No,
I know
I
you
do.
do. I honestly don't really want to make fun of you, but fuck you. Like, you're asking for, so you're a plus size travel blogger. Like I said, you should add a few more pluses in there. You're a travel blogger. You're mad because you're being charged for more than one seat when you're taking up more than one seat.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to a restaurant.
This is how much a seat costs. You take up two of those.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you're entitled to that extra seat?
I'm going to go to a restaurant.
Fuck you.
Tomorrow, maybe tonight. Fuck it. I'm going tonight. I'm going to order 2 plates of food. And I'm going to be like, I only want to pay for 1 because I'm hungry enough to eat 2. Okay?
Film yourself while you do that, please.
I should. It's the entitlement of this. Like, you know what? You want to live your life. You want to be big. You want to eat, do whatever is causing you to be big. Thyroid issue, like they always claim. Okay, great.
At the end of the day, it's they eat more calories than they burn, and that woman is not burning a lot of calories or is eating a lot.
And listen,
probably eating a
and
lot
that's
of calories.
fine. Hey,
I saw
different strokes for different folks.
I saw a YouTube short of a woman who was eating like 10,000 calories a day before her wedding, and she was marrying like this chef, and she was ginormous, but she wanted to be as big as like she had this idea that she wanted to be as big as possible for her wedding day. It was weird. It was fucking weird, and she was eating like 10,000 calories a day, and it was simultaneously disgusting and delicious. Some of the foods that she was eating, so
delicious.
This is one of those things.
And again, like I've said it before,
well, that's
I'm
like
not
a match
against,
made in heaven, right? Like a morbidly obese fatty and a world-renowned chef.
I'm not against people being whatever size you want. Go ahead. But what I'm against is that I'm against this whole idea of like quality.
Or that you're entitled to something.
Exactly. So I'm entitled to this.
You've made these decisions. Like this is why like it's completely different to like handicap stuff, right? Because like people get handicapped. They don't have really a choice a lot of the times. Like sure, maybe you think, well, you chose to drive recklessly and you got in that accident, now you can't walk. What to do? But most of the time it's really not like that. And a lot of times it's like genetic and whatnot.
Yeah.
So people get that way, and so you think, okay, we should do everything we can to accommodate these people because they're in a situation they can't get up. She can lose 400 pounds probably, and still be on the bigger side, but
she
not
can lose a couple of pluses, is what you mean?
Just a few pluses.
A few pluses. Let's turn a couple of those pluses to minuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be entitled to anything.
I know what you're saying.
She should.
The
burden is on her. The burden is on her. If she's going to take up 2 seats, then she should pay for 2 seats.
Right.
You know. That's that.
Yeah.
I think that's that.
It's accountability. It's self-accountability. Yeah. It's like there's no accountability there. It's everybody else has to. We all have to cater to her life decisions, whether they're poor or not.
Ridiculous.
Like, and again, I'm not saying that because I disparage her for deciding she wants to be big, or if for whatever reason she's massively struggling with some type of thyroid issue or something. I'm not going to put that out. But the idea is, the end of the day, you're a big girl. You're taking up 2 seats. You pay for 2 fucking seats. It's just simple. Math is math. 1 + 1 = 2.
That is what fairness is. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if we go to a restaurant and I eat 2 steaks and you eat 1 steak, I should not have to pay the same amount as you.
Not.
You know, like
yeah. It's like people use this idea as like, oh, because okay, so this guy broke the law and did this thing, and well, it's not really his fault because like he had a hard childhood
Yeah.
and he was, this and that happened to him and he's a victim of this. So, we should treat him different. No, fuck you. He did the crime, he does the time. Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get off. Let's
This is just
get off
rage
this
inducing.
plane. Let's get off this.
I don't want to be on a plane with her.
All right, well, we got one last sort of
One
funny
little thing to end.
thing that
We're gonna try to
happened.
keep this short.
I don't know if this is funny, but this is sad.
Well, yeah.
Did you record?
So
Did you start recording it? I don't feel like you did.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I don't think you did
All
either.
right.
There you go.
All right. So check this out. This is a Target in San Francisco.
Yeah, well, because in San Francisco, I don't think
It's
anybody
open.
buys anything.
It's open season.
I'm pretty sure you don't buy anything.
You just walk in with your bag. Some of them don't even have bags, and they just grab what they want.
I like this. I will take that.
So literally everything is locked up, and that's probably like bulletproof glass.
This looks like the gaming section in most Walmarts.
Yeah.
It's like you got to get. Oh, hey, I'd like to buy this game here. Can you
desk.
come over with the keys?
Everything.
And then Sally has to go get Sammy, who's the department lead, who has the keys. And then Sammy has a fucking thing of keys.
It takes
and
you
he has
10
to come
minutes
over.
to get your
10 minutes to get my
shampoo
fucking game. How about I just live in a society where there's some trust? Yeah, exactly. So now I want some deodorant.
Yeah.
Can I get the deodorant from there? Oh, yes, sorry. I just got to call Sammy from Department 3, and he's going to come down. It's going to be about 15 minutes. Is that okay? 15 minutes? So you want to just peruse the aisle? No, I don't. How about no? How about I just live somewhere else instead of this fucking dumpster fire of San Francisco, where everybody steals things and there is no economy anymore? How is this? How do we live in this fucking society now? How did it come to this?
Leftist policy.
Oh, this is at its finest. Well, thank you, Nancy Pelosi, and all your lackeys. Thumbs up.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, listen. On that,
That sums that up.
Yeah, on that sad note, we should be funny. It should have been funny, but it's not. It's just sad.
It's funny because it's like that's them.
Yeah.
They're the others. Our stores aren't like that.
Yeah, it's true. Actually,
And if they were, I'd probably leave.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere where I walked into somewhere and I had to have guardrails up because people thought I was just going to steal all the time. So, that's sad. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry to end on such a sad state of affairs. Yeah, if you enjoy our podcast, please subscribe, like the podcast, check out our videos during the week. We do a clip of each segment of what we talked about on the podcast. We do it once, 5:00 every day during the week. So you can check those out if you missed the podcast, or if you want to check that out again and maybe comment on that. We do respond to pretty much every comment, unless you have something stupid to say, and then we just don't respond. Make it smart, and we'll respond.
Smarten the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Just there's nothing stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, enjoy your Friday night.
We will see you next Friday at 7:00.